Men often think the biggest mistakes in dating are obvious: saying the wrong thing, forgetting an anniversary, not texting enough. But in reality, the mistakes that cost you the most respect are far more subtle. They're small habits that look harmless on the surface but silently destroy your value in a woman's eyes. And most guys have no clue they're doing it. This isn't the recycled dating advice you've already heard. This is about power dynamics, emotional self-control, and understanding how to maintain your position as a man, even when a woman is trying to shake it. Because here's what most men don't realize. When a woman starts to ignore you, she's not just disappearing. She's observing. She's waiting to see how addicted you are to her attention. She's watching to see if you'll fold, chase, or even beg. And the moment you do any of those things, you send a clear message. Your self-worth is tied to her validation. That's not how a strong man operates. That's not how a high-value man responds. Today you're going to learn how to hold your ground when she pulls away, and why her silence can actually be your advantage if you play it right. Because when you know how to respond, you shift the entire game in your favor. Before we break down the 5 critical mistakes you must never make when a woman starts ignoring you, let's get one thing clear. Her silence is not random, it's not an accident, and it's not harmless. But's 1. Why she's ignoring you in the first place. The biggest mistake men make when a woman goes silent is assuming it came out of nowhere. It didn't. Whether you noticed it or not, something built up, either in her mind or in your behavior, that led her to stop responding. Understanding why it's happening is the first step to not falling apart when it does. Here's the hard truth. Women rarely ignore men they're truly excited about. If she's emotionally invested, she'll find a reason to talk to you. If she's silent, she's either losing interest or testing your reaction to her pulling away. And both scenarios signal a shift in power. Sometimes she starts ignoring you because you've become too available, too predictable, or too eager. Women are drawn to men who bring challenge, mystery, and stability, not men who treat her like a prize they're desperate to win. If you've been over-communicating, chasing too hard, or reacting too quickly, the tension that keeps her engaged starts to fade. Other times, the silence is calculated. She wants to see if she can shake you. If ignoring you makes you panic, chase harder, or try to fix something she never even explained. That's how she measures your emotional discipline. And most men fail that test. Let's put it into a real situation. You've been texting a woman you recently started seeing. The chemistry felt strong. Then suddenly, no response. She leaves you on read. You double text. Nothing. You follow up the next day. Still nothing. What happened? You gave away your position. You showed her that she can disappear and you'll come chasing, like you need her attention to survive. That tells her you're not used to abundance. It tells her you're investing more than she is. And that imbalance kills attraction instantly. Here's what you must understand. Her silence is a move, not a mystery. It's either emotional distance growing from her side or a deliberate way to see what kind of man you really are. Either way, your job is not to react, it's to observe. Because how you handle the silence will shape how she sees you going forward. She's not ignoring you by accident. She's either done or she's watching. Don't give her a performance she can laugh at later. 2. Don't chase. It screams weakness. The first instinct most men have when a woman pulls away is to chase. They text more, they call, they check her stories, they try to get her attention in subtle, indirect ways, hoping she'll notice and respond. Let's be honest, we've all felt that sinking anxiety when a woman stops replying. It makes you want to do something, anything, to bring the connection back. You think, if I just say the right thing, maybe she'll respond. But chasing her after she pulls away is the exact move that confirms her suspicion. That you need her more than she needs you. And once she sees that, her respect for you starts to fade. Women don't respect desperation. They don't admire men who act out of fear. When you chase, you're telling her with your actions that you can't handle the silence. That she has power over you. And the more you chase, the more she pulls back. Not necessarily because she's playing games, but because chasing exposes something deeply unattractive, your emotional dependence. A man who is truly confident doesn't run after what removes itself from him. He doesn't feel the need to force a connection where it's being denied. He doesn't lose his center when someone walks out of his space. And that calm, collected, self-assured energy is what keeps a woman's respect alive. Think about it. If she's ignoring you and you chase, what does that say about your options? It screams that she's your only source of female validation. It tells her you're not used to being around women who actually choose you. But when you hold your ground, you flip the dynamic. You send the message that you're not reacting to her withdrawal and that your identity isn't built around her attention. That kind of detachment is powerful. It makes her question why you're not chasing. It makes her wonder what she just lost. Here's the key. Don't try to convince a woman to come back to you. Let her feel the loss. Let her notice your absence. Let her remember that you didn't fight for her when she walked away. Not because you didn't care, but because you care about yourself more. Chasing is what boys do when they don't know their value. Men stay still. Men observe. Men wait to see if she's worth re-engaging with. If she ignores you and you chase, you just taught her she's above you. Never give her that lesson. 3. Stop explaining yourself. When a woman starts ignoring you, many men slide into explanation mode. They send long messages trying to justify what they said, clarifying their tone, or explaining their actions in hopes that she'll suddenly understand and come back around. It feels logical. You tell yourself, if I just clear up the misunderstanding, she'll see my side and respond. But this is a trap. Explaining yourself when she's already tuned out is one of the fastest ways to look weak. It doesn't matter how respectful or logical your words are. If you're explaining while she's ignoring you, what she sees is a man trying to earn her approval back. And that energy kills attraction. You need to understand something vital. Women don't pull away because of a deep misunderstanding that needs your well-crafted essay. They pull away because of a shift in emotional response. And emotions don't respond to logic. She's not ignoring you because she didn't get your message. She's ignoring you because she no longer feels the same tension, excitement, or curiosity she once did. You can't explain your way back into her feelings. When you start typing those long paragraphs, you're placing her in the position of authority. You're silently asking her to validate your thoughts and forgive your supposed mistakes. That dynamic flips the power completely. It turns you into a man who's reacting, not leading. And whether you realize it or not, it puts her on a pedestal while you scramble to stay in her good graces. Picture this. Maybe you said something she didn't like. Maybe your opinion rubbed her the wrong way. If her response is to go silent, explaining yourself only confirms that her silence controls you. It makes her feel that she sets the rules while you bend yourself to fit them. That's not strength. That's submission. A grounded man doesn't over-explain. He lets his actions speak. If he meant what he said, he stands by it. If she disappears because of that, she was never the right woman for him anyway. Here's the mindset shift. If you feel the urge to type a long message, stop and ask yourself, am I clarifying something that truly matters? Or am I just afraid of being misunderstood by someone who already stopped listening? 9 times out of 10, it's fear. And fear has no place in masculine communication. Women respect a man who holds his position with quiet confidence, even if it costs him someone who was never really committed in the first place. Stop explaining. Start standing firm. 4. Begging destroys attraction. When silence drags on, desperation starts to build. If you don't catch it early, it turns into something even worse. Begging. Begging doesn't always look like dropping to your knees and saying, "Please talk to me." More often, it's subtle, it's emotional, and it's deadly to attraction. Begging is any action rooted in emotional dependence. It's when you start doing too much, reaching out too often, or pouring your feelings into messages hoping to pull her back. It's sending long emotional texts, asking if she's okay, checking in to make sure she isn't upset, or trying to make things right, even when you don't know what went wrong. All of that is begging. And it tells her one thing: you don't believe you can walk away. That mindset is poison to attraction, because once a woman sees that you're willing to throw away your pride, your boundaries, and your self-control just to win her attention, she can never unsee it. It confirms that she is the prize, and you're the one chasing approval. That imbalance shifts the whole dynamic. She becomes the one with power, and you become the man desperately fighting to keep her from leaving. And here's the cruel twist. Begging doesn't pull her closer. It pushes her further away. Why? Because begging creates pressure. Instead of feeling desired, she feels smothered. Instead of curiosity, she feels responsibility for your emotions. It doesn't make her want to come back. It makes her want to run even faster. Nothing kills feminine attraction quicker than a man who can't emotionally stand on his own. Attraction grows from strength, mystery, and restraint, not weakness. If she sees that you can stay centered even when she's distant, she starts to wonder why. She starts to question if you even need her the way she assumed. That's what pulls her back in. Not begging for her presence, but being completely fine without it. The truth is simple. If you have to beg for someone's attention, they were never really choosing you in the first place. You don't beg for value. You recognize it in yourself and act like it. Keep your dignity. Hold your ground. If she doesn't see your worth in silence, she was never going to see it in words. 5. Checking in makes you look insecure. This one feels harmless. You tell yourself it's just concern. You think, I don't want to come off needy. I just want to make sure everything's okay. But to her, that just checking in text doesn't read as thoughtful. It reads as low confidence. Checking in when she's ignoring you sends a very clear signal. You're worried, you're confused, and you're putting your emotional state in her hands. That's a position no man should ever put himself in. Let's call it what it really is, a hidden attempt to seek reassurance. You want to know if you're still on her mind. You want to feel like you're still relevant. And instead of holding your position in silence, you break it with a polite message that quietly screams, I'm not okay with this distance. Here's what most men don't realize. When a woman pulls away, she's paying close attention to how you carry yourself in that space. She wants to see if you'll fold, if you'll get antsy, if you'll start seeking small crumbs of comfort just to keep the connection alive. Picture this. You've been talking to a woman for a few weeks. Things seem to be going well, but then she slows down her replies, becomes distant, and eventually stops responding altogether. After 2 days, you send the classic line, Hey, just checking in. Hope everything's okay. From your side, it feels polite and mature, but on her side, it reads as low value. It tells her that you're watching the clock, waiting on her, and looking to her for clarity. That kills the mystery. It removes the strength. It tells her that her silence is affecting you. And that's exactly the opposite of what draws her back in. The men who stand out to women are the ones who can handle the unknown. The ones who don't need to check in because they're not sitting around hoping for approval. They're too focused on their mission, their goals, and their own lives to chase clarity from someone who went quiet. If she's interested, she'll come back on her own. No gentle reminders, no friendly nudges, no, just making sure you're okay messages. You're not her therapist, you're not her emotional support system, and you're definitely not a backup option she can keep on standby. Stop checking in, let the silence do its job, because if you're truly grounded, you won't need to break it. And if she values you, she'll feel it in your absence.